Welcome to the Girl Gang. I'm Catrina Gardner of Catrina and Create.
And I'm Dominique Goyette-Connerty of Evergreen Marketing. On this show, we're going to chat with women business owners in Massachusetts and those who support local women in business.
Because girls don't just want to have fun. They also want to sell real estate.
They want to open a brewery.
They want to teach others to invest in the stock market.
They want to take stunning photos, plan lavish parties, and help people recover from injuries.
Girls just want a podcast.
What can we say?
We're girls.
The empty cans.
The empty cans, because we definitely chugged these already. Damn. Well, welcome back.
Welcome to Girls Just Wanna.
Another episode. What is this? Episode 5 now?
Yeah.
Episode 5. All right, we did it. Well, we haven't done it yet, but...
I'm Catrina Gardner.
And I'm Dominique Goyette-Connerty.
And this is Girls Just Wanna, the podcast.
The end. Just kidding. We already drank our entire Diet Coke, so...
And it's...
Buckle up.
Not even noon.
Yeah, buckle up. I didn't have a whole coffee today, which is a problem. So I will be getting more after this.
As you should.
Welcome back.
We're back in our studio.
I know.
We're back.
We're back. Yeah. We have a guest today, unlike last episode.
Yes.
Emily, your friend.
Yes. I love Emily with my whole heart. We're going to talk about how we met each other because I think it's a funny story. It probably isn't that funny, but I think it is. And talk to her about her business. She's really just like one of the funniest, most lovely, genuine, giving people that I know.
If you're watching this and you're crying, I understand because I'm like tearing up hearing that. And
when do you ever tear up?
I don't tear up, but well, I guess that's not really true. But no, I'm actually not tearing up. But I did think that was really kind of you.
Thank you.
Oh, I hope she likes that.
I am known to give a compliment or two.
Yeah.
You usually hate it. I don't give you compliments.
I don't really like compliments. You told me you like my outfit today.
I did.
I'm wearing a fun skirt.
You are. Yeah, so we're excited to have her on.
Yeah. But before we get to that, let's do a little catch up.
We want to complain about the weather.
Okay, well, maybe we do. So it's hot. It's been hot this week. It's the second you're stunned. It's hot. It's not crazy.
It's disgusting.
It's not crazy.
It's disgusting.
It could be so much worse. I don't know if you recall last year we had a 92-degree day in April.
I don't recall.
Okay. So
I blacked it out.
This week has been like 85 degrees for 3 days straight. Well, actually, I guess this would probably be day 4.
Yeah.
And it's nearing the end of May, and yeah, that's definitely hot, but also I like the hot weather, or like I like summer. My problem is that because I've been traveling so much and have been so busy that I did not have time to get my AC units out of a storage unit.
Right.
And so my house, the house that I live in an apartment, is very poorly insulated. So when it is cold out, it is cold indoors, and when it is hot out, it is hot indoors.
Same.
So I've been struggling, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, our house is hot. It's just hot.
She's like, I'm actually just heat exhausted.
No, and a few weeks ago it was like gorgeous. And I remember thinking at the time, I'm like, this is not going to last. This is going to be like 2 weeks. And I was working outside as much as I could. It's going out as much as I could. Just like try to enjoy 70s clear skies.
I will say, too, and I don't know about you, the pollen has been killer this year. Am I right?
We think, so my cat, if anyone wants a cat.
No!
We think maybe her problem right now is that she's allergic to pollen. Because apparently cats can be allergic to pollen.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I actually just this morning scheduled, she's going to go to the vet on Tuesday. I'm going to drop her off.
Good luck.
Oh, they were like, do we usually sedate her? Do you think we're going to have to? I'm like, yeah, we're just going to do it. So we drop her off in the morning. They, I think through the carrier, just like trank her.
Poor kitty.
And we're going to figure out what's wrong because she is not using the litter box for like the last 2 weeks now.
Oh. That's brutal.
But she's also like sleeping where she's going, so that's a little bit concerning.
Yeah.
But she's always scratching all the time too. So we've got like blood on the walls, like blood splatter, because she like is scratching herself so much that she's like, yeah.
Man, what?
So she might have some pollen allergies.
I would
She's
react the
scratching.
same way. No, I'm just kidding. But so I have not had a problem with pollen for the past several years.
Uh-huh.
And when I got back from Paris, I was fine the first day, and then the second day I woke up and like had a little bit of like nasal drip in the throat, and my nose was just drip, 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 drip.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sneezing nonstop. And at first I thought, oh my God, did I get sick from the plane? Which is totally like honestly expected and would make sense. But no, then I just realized everybody's really been struggling with the pollen this year. I called my mom. She's like, my nose is dripping so much you could just put a cup under it at this point. Like, yucky.
I was gonna say, so I'm not sure if I should, but I'm gonna say it. My nose is not dripping for the first time in months since I got my septum piercing.
Really?
It was like just a drip for so long, and I just kept having like a little piece of tissue that I would just like wad it. And now it's like stopped. I'm like, am I finally healed? This is great. Because I got this in like January, so it's been like 5 months.
Nice.
And now I'm not dripping. You're welcome, world.
Aside from the weather, this is the third day in a row we've seen each other.
It is.
Yeah. That's pretty cray-cray.
It is pretty crazy.
We don't normally see each other this much, but we saw each other Wednesday. We went to Lead Like Her, the women's breakfast, the first of its kind. Shout out to our friend Kara, who works at Citywide of Boston.
Yeah.
And she pretty much like organized, I want to say like the whole event.
Yeah.
I know she had people helping her, but she kind of like took the lead, it seems like. And
Yeah.
we know her through YPWA, and she's just honestly like another lovely person to know. So shout out to her for inviting us and letting us be vendors. So
Yeah.
Catrina did a headshot station at this breakfast.
Yeah.
And I had a table for Evergreen Marketing as well as the podcast. I kind of shared space on my table. And it
How did it go for you?
went well. I met some cool people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, that's nice. And I got some fun pictures from you because I was goofing off behind
Did you
it.
see the photos that I sent you?
I did. We should post some of them here. I was being a weirdo, as per usual. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever.
Yeah.
Not that that's like an excuse, because that's pretty much always my personality. But we had a lot of fun.
I had a lot of fun. Actually, this is the first time I've done like a headshot station like this of this size.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. And I remember I went home and I edited the photos that night, and I just like loved it. Like everyone is, I'm like such a like emotionally annoying person. Everyone's so beautiful, like all their different smiles. I was just like, I love this, like seeing all the different types of people and their personalities in the photos. It was just so cute.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And all the proceeds went to benefit Be Like Brit, which is a local nonprofit.
And I didn't know much about Be Like Brit before. This was the first time
Were
I
you
heard
gonna
the
cry
story.
at the table, by the way? I
No.
forgot to ask you. Okay.
Why? Just because I cry all the time?
No, because I mean it's a sad story.
It is a sad story. No, I was definitely feeling like touched by the story.
Yeah.
And then I went home and I told my husband it, and he was like, I don't want to hear this right now. And I'm like,
But so that was a good day.
it was a good day. And then we saw each other yesterday
Yep.
to
We
figure
wanted
out
to
the podcast
make sure everything was all set.
Yep.
And then here we are today.
recording.
So
And then I'll see you again tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you will not. I will be out of state again.
Will you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, look at you. I'm doing something fun after this.
Okay.
My son is doing a kickball game at school.
That's
and
fun.
I get to go watch him do kickball.
That's
I'm
cute.
excited.
Okay.
Soccer mom in the making.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that personality for you.
Yeah.
That's new.
I also wanted to bring up a certain football player
Ugh.
that's been making the rounds.
Shh.
Did you hear? Did you hear the whole speech?
I did not watch the whole speech.
I
I
did not
watched the
either.
edited down clips, and that was enough for me.
Yeah. What's his name?
Harrison Buttlicker or something.
Buttlicker,
Just
yeah.
kidding. It's not that, but it should be. It might as well be.
It's Buttlicker. I've decided.
Basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a kicker on the Chiefs. Like, who knew this man before he made this speech? Not me.
Not me.
Just insulting. Honestly, like, I put it on our list of things we wanted to talk about, and now that we're at it, I'm just like, do I even want to talk about this?
So
It's
I
just
did create a
frustrating.
stitch to it on Instagram.
You did? I didn't
did.
see this.
Yeah. where I just basically like didn't say anything, but it was just me with my jaw dropped, and I said like, dude, read the room, because he's talking to at a
College
commencement,
graduates, yeah.
college graduates, about how the career doesn't matter. You should just be
Women
a homemaker.
be a homemaker.
Be at home, be a wife, be a mom.
And that you
it's
should
like,
take pride in like supporting your family and like, running your household, and let your husband,
if that's your thoughts and opinions, you can, I don't
as
care.
a woman, if those are your thoughts and opinions, that's fine.
True. But to state
as
it
a man, to say that
at
to
graduation,
other women at a graduation, like
as
they're
celebrating the last 4 years, they've spent how much
the
money?
Education that they've gotten to propel them into a career track. It's just like so off base. And apparently he got a standing ovation though, which I was like,
No.
But I've seen a lot of funny content come out of that, which is the bright side.
Yeah.
But it really is frustrating, and it's just like, when will men? And if one person comes at us in the comments to say not all men, I swear to God, you're getting blocked. I don't care. Like, mess with me, I don't care. When are men gonna stop saying shit like that?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, nobody asked you.
Yeah.
Second of all, nobody cares about your opinion on what women do with their lives. Let women choose what they want to do with their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So annoying. And on that note, let's bring in a badass gal.
Who? Yeah.
Yeah, we love her.
We love her.
All right.
We're excited.
And this is where we will transition to the interview. Go.
Welcome to Girls Just Wanna, and we're so excited to have Emily Acorace. I did it again.
Yeah.
Acorace.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
That's like a newer last name. You got married last year?
In October, so it's
October.
only been like 6-7 months.
Congratulations.
Ish, is that bad?
No.
That I don't know.
No.
I was like, is it bad that you're married? Ma'am, what?
Yeah.
So Emily is joining us. She's someone that I've known for a very, very long time at this point. And we have a fun story because we've never actually worked together. But we'll tell it. But Emily owns her own photography, videography studio with her husband. Can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we're all wearing blue
Yeah,
today.
we didn't coordinate this.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's a fun surprise.
It is.
Yeah, so we started Acorace Creative about 2 years ago, and we primarily focus on editorial style and documentary style, like videography and photography. And we're primarily focused on business to business.
Mm-hmm.
So we make content, and that goes as far as social media post content, ad content, all the way to mini documentaries for people's, almost like they're about me on their websites, to commercials.
Mm-hmm.
So we, here in Worcester, we've done an ad for Polar Park through Wormtown Brewery, and that was really, really fun.
Yeah.
That was really the beginning of the business and how we kind of realized we fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And we've been kind of going nonstop ever since then.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you and I have had very similar like career trajectories and like just creativeness. So Emily and I met maybe like 10 years ago at this point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was working as a graphic designer at a local like mom and pop embroidery shop. And I had decided that it was my time to move on from that shop, not because I didn't like working there, but it was just kind of, a small business, and I kind of wanted to do more with graphic design than I could there. So to replace me, they hired someone before you, and she had like a really quick trajectory there. And she only stayed for a few months, and then they hired you.
Yeah.
So we didn't work together at all. There was really no overlap. But because I was really close to the owners still, they invited me to their Christmas party that year. So that was the first time that I met you, was at the Christmas party bowling with Jim and Judy. I don't know if anyone else came. But yeah, I felt like I knew you because like just social media is a small world
Yeah.
and it was a small business and
Yeah.
then you felt like you knew me because I
Yeah.
think they just kept talking about me all the time.
100% nonstop. Yeah.
So we got connected and then I don't know, we've just kind of like climbed the corporate ladder like next to each other the whole time and we've worked together with photography. Like you've hired me to be a second shooter for you. And then we just kind of became really great like kind of referral partners at this point and a really great person, like shoulder to lean on when you're talking about like, you know, the ups and downs of corporate and business ownership and all that fun stuff. So yeah, it was really interesting. Like I'm like, she's like my coworker, except we never worked together.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to explain, but I remember when I first started working there, you left everything so organized and you had all of these beautiful templates. I'm like, I want to be friends with this girl. Like, I think I like added you on social. Like, you probably thought it was so creepy, but like the owners of the shop were every day.
Yeah.
Katrina. Did you see she got engaged? I'm like, I did, but it's kind of weird that I know that. You know? But yeah, it's been really cool, and I feel like you and I have always kind of been at the same level.
Yeah.
And we've really been supportive of each other along the way. And
Always cheering you on with
Yeah.
what your next move is and vice versa.
Yeah.
And helping each other and getting advice and
I think that's so important. I've always seen, especially women, you know, being there to support each other. I've never seen anybody as a competition. You know, if I have a tool or a technique, I'm always willing to share it, or a lens or any kind of thing with creative work. And I feel like you've always been the same way in that aspect.
Yeah.
And that's also like part of the goal of this podcast. So I'm really happy you just said that. Is like, you know, we even had, when we had Stephanie on and we asked her to shout out some other women-owned businesses that she supported, and she's an event planner. She shouted out 2 other event planners, and I was like, wow, I love that you did that, because even though they might like do some of the same events, she doesn't view them as competition at all.
Right.
So very much like being supportive of people, even if you share the same skill sets and
it's just like such a good practice to support each other, and it will always like come back, I think, you know, like come back around. And so it's been really wonderful having you in my life all these years.
Same here.
I'm third wheeling here. We just met 2 minutes ago.
I know. I'm like,
do you guys want me to like back up a little? So she knows a whole lot more about you than I do. So I guess this is like a first time I'm learning along with the listeners here. So can you tell us more about like what the process has been like starting your business and what some of the ups and downs are? And
I feel like I try to do business the way I would want to hire someone. So I always put myself as the consumer or the customer and what they give back. And that's kind of, I feel like, been my MO from day one. I started off as a graphic designer, you know, as Catrina and I mentioned. And I kind of worked my way up to do weddings. And that's really, and I've been doing that for about 10 years. That's what started me. Oh, okay, I can learn how to run a business. This is pretty cool. But I've always been very, very transparent with my clients, very active in the creative direction aspect. I feel as though when you hire me, you get me as a service, right? I'm gonna let you know if you know you have a hair sticking out. I'm gonna let you know everything that we've discussed in a pre-production meeting we've done, and make sure that there's always time to do more, or we've accomplished everything, you know, and we always set goals before we even meet. So I think that that's a huge part of what I offer when you get me.
right.
And I think that sets us apart for sure from other people. I think a lot of the times when you have somebody come in and they do the job and they leave. That's not what we are about or what I'm about. I want to make people feel super, super comfortable, and really, I want their business to be successful too.
Right.
You know, and that's what really brings me happiness.
Yeah.
And I feel really accomplished at the end of the day.
I remember, so we did do a wedding together. You hired me as your second shooter. It was at the Wayside Inn. It was beautiful. But you were almost like a wedding planner in addition to being the photographer. Like you were kind of coordinating the day and being like, okay, you guys go over there, you guys go over there. And I was like really impressed. And I'm like, okay, like Emily has got this. She is really like taking charge. And I think that is such an asset that you've probably brought to your new business as well. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's helped me. The weddings really, if you can shoot and operate a wedding and have your clients happy, you can do anything in the world. It's definitely was a huge building block for my success in both the corporate environment and my business, my new business that's been around for about 2 years.
Yeah. And so do you do mostly photo at your new business and your husband does video, or do you guys like share both aspects, or how does it work?
So I would say, I always kind of joke around, I do all of the sales. I do all of the business operations. And he is, I always say he's the talent, you know. He's quiet. I'm not. So he's the filmmaker. We both can shoot video. But he's the one that really knows like the cinematic, all the lighting, I know all of it, but I am more, during our shoots, I'm more of creative director. And I operate a camera, like the second camera. But sometimes we just do photos and I'm lead on photos.
It's probably such a great partnership that you've had the corporate experience to be able to lead the business, but you also have the experience of doing the work. You know, it would be a lot different if you didn't know how to shoot. But you know, I think it probably makes you guys a really, really good partnership there for the business.
Yeah, it does. I have done every single role when it comes to, if you think about a marketing team. I've done graphic design, I've done video editing, I've even done some animation, photography, social media management, ads, anything you could think of. So I think all of that experience has really helped resonate and build this new business. So
yeah, and we don't have Anthony on today, but we could have, because Anthony is a girl's girl. Like,
yes, he is.
He is. The last time we were hanging out, me, you, and him, we were at the brewery, and I remember we like started talking about like periods, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and you were like, "Don't be." Like, you were like, "He's fine," and he was. He was like, just totally like at ease, like not uncomfortable, like just.
I would never marry a non-feminist.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. He's great. He's a gem. I love him. You just like bring him. You're like,
I think
here's
I
my
texted
little like
you,
golden
like,
retriever.
Is it okay that I bring him? He wants to come with us.
He's like, I want to drink beer.
That's so funny.
So you've done, like you just said, all the different sort of aspects and kind of earned that experience and earned that sort of like master of the craft, I guess. Is photo your favorite? Is video your favorite? Do you have a soft spot for graphic design?
Photo is, I would say video is my favorite.
Okay.
Is it?
It's the most challenging.
It is.
It's the newest. It's the thing I know least about as far as shooting. I can shoot. I can edit, but it's my weakest area, I would say. Still hire us, by the way. We're quite good. But I think whenever I've delved into a different part of like the creative world, I always try to be the best at what I can. And I'm not an expert in shooting video or editing video. So it's always my favorite, though. I love directing. That's a huge part of it. I will absolutely direct and make sure the shoot goes the way the client wants. Photo, I could shoot a photo shoot right now with my eyes closed. So same with graphic design. I'm very, very comfortable in all of those programs. So I'm best at photo. but video is definitely my favorite. It's the most interesting to shoot right now.
And do you think that like you like the challenge of it too?
Yeah.
So that maybe
Yeah.
when you master the video,
Yeah.
you're gonna look for another skill to be like,
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, that's such a unique take, I think, is to favorite. It's like a very particular personality type to,
Yeah, that's
to
true.
enjoy
something
the
that you
challenge.
think
Yeah.
you're not as strong at.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what makes you even better at it is
Yeah.
enjoying the challenge and like chasing, like, I don't want to say perfection, but chasing like, you know, that goal of being able to get better and better and better. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's something I always push to with whenever I've had a group of people or we're teaching you something. Like, I think when I was shooting portraits of you at the brewery, you're like, oh, wow, like, how did you do that? And I
Yeah.
explained to you, and
Yeah.
I was like, I want you to learn, you
Yeah.
know, and I think that's a huge part of it, too, is I always want to be growing and learning, because I feel like if you're not doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something I try to teach and push.
Yeah.
You know, when I was running a team,
Yeah.
it made me so proud when
Yeah.
like my staff would learn something and then use it, and I would see them grow, and I think that's a huge thing for me too.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any like challenges with teaching others, like the technical aspects? Because I don't know how to teach graphic design to other people. Like, it's so
That's fair.
challenging for me to be like, because I'm so in it, you know, that it's just like, I know what I want it to look like. And then, I mean, you really have to take the time to like nurture it, right? So that's what can be challenging for me. And I'm curious if you've had similar experiences.
Oh, it's definitely a challenge for sure.
Yeah.
I think graphic design, it comes with time. I think one of my team members at one of the places I used to work was primarily focused on events, and I asked him what he was interested in. He said he wanted to learn. So we worked for you know, with 6 months together, and teaching him really started about color theory,
Yeah.
and for him understanding like why certain weights and serifs and sans serifs work and why they don't work on a graphic,
Yeah.
or why this works on social and why
Yeah.
this doesn't work on print.
And that's so valuable in today's world too, with like Canva, which I love Canva.
Right.
Same.
Big Canva user, but the accessibility of graphic design, I think those aspects are lost on the major population of like why you shouldn't use this for print and that. So I love that you're, you know, carrying that knowledge.
Yeah,
forward.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing too is with the teaching aspect is, you know, and not in a good way, but a lot of like social media management positions or social media marketing positions expect you to also be a graphic designer, expect you to also be a copywriter, expect you to also be like the master of analytics and you know, strategy and whatever. And so I definitely like hear and second your point about like always wanting to learn and grow, because for good or for bad, like having more skills makes you more hireable.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been through that too. You know, I remember the last time I was looking for a full-time job, and I'm like, do I want it to be photography? Do I want it to be graphic design? Do I want it to be marketing? And I, like, you know, would tailor the resumes per position. And then I also, like, had my portfolio that I tried to, like, really, like, strategically and purposefully mold those three together. And I was like, how can I? Because I didn't want to give up any of them. I was like, I like all these things. And, like, how... And, like... That was probably unique to me, whereas most people are like, I just want to do social media, like, don't make me do graphic design, versus I was like, I want to do it all. But yeah, I think that right now there is a challenge with the world. I mean, just the world of social media in general, of like it becoming a job, and then also like now it's this catch-all phrase of like social media manager, like you were saying.
It's so
like,
hard.
Yeah.
I'm not envious.
Yeah.
That's why we don't currently offer social packages.
Yes.
Right.
As far as management, we might at some point, but we do offer social media footage and photos that we could provide to the client. But right now, I am not managing any socials for
Good for
any
you.
businesses.
I envy that.
Honestly, yeah. That sounds delightful.
Yeah.
On top of your point about teaching others and wanting to see them grow, I know you said you used to have teams when you were, more in the corporate life. Now that you have your own small business, is it just you and your husband? I know, like Catrina mentioned, being a second shooter. Do you work with contractors? Are you ever looking to hire employees, you think, or interns?
I've actually had that question come up in the last couple of weeks because I had someone interested.
Oh,
right now, no.
Okay.
Right now, it's just us. But we do work with a lot of different people, such as Catrina. I've referred clients who have come to us. They needed someone who has her expertise. We don't offer that right now. And I believe they signed with you.
Yeah.
So we have a group of web designers. I know Anthony knows a lot of people who do just like they pull focus on cameras and audio, things that we don't necessarily need or we're not big enough for right now.
Right.
And then we have, a bunch of people who I would hire, my trusted people. If we were to book a client that we needed multiple photographers.
Yeah.
So you could outsource for some stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's great that you have enough experience to know like what you can take on and what you can refer out, and also being able to be that like trusted partner for someone.
Yes.
Where you're not just going to say yes to everything and then like figure it out along the way, but instead having like the integrity to be like, oh well, I can do this for you, but for that like I would
recommend.
right like that goes a long way for long lasting relationships.
Yeah, I think I get a message probably right now once a month, but before once a week.
Yeah.
For weddings.
Yeah.
So I've sent so many different referrals and people like that out. But yeah, it's the network is the biggest thing I could ever recommend for anybody who's trying to do what I do or what you guys do. You need to build purposeful relationships, but not something that you would ever use someone or take something from.
Right.
I always think that building a strong group of people who do what you do is really the key to success, especially in our area.
Yeah.
It's really been the relationships and the one phone call. Hey, can you make a commercial for Polar Park?
Yeah.
Sure. When do you need it? In 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I always tell people. It's building, it's showing up, it's, being there for people.
How have you built your network over the years? Like, have you just gone to events? Is it like just getting out there? Have you joined different groups, or is it more like organic, just through doing the work?
Organic.
Yeah.
I believe I've met a lot of people through my corporate career, but those people have become friends.
Yeah.
So there's some networking that I've learned, through that way. But it's just talking to people. I mean, I'll use a brewery opened up in our town.
Yep.
I've taken Catrina there before. It's fun. You should come with next time.
Next time, send me the invite.
And I think I went in way too hot to the owners, and I was like, "Hey, we want to do a little mini documentary. We love your beer." And they're like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Okay, I got to pump the brakes a little bit." And just nurturing, we like their product that they offer. We show up as customers. Now they're our clients.
Yeah.
So being there, building trust.
Yeah.
I've also done some things that I've known, like, oh, I'm going to shoot some photos and they're going to be out of this world, and I know these people are going to not want to hire me after that.
Yeah.
And that's worked for me a few times.
Yeah.
Or a little promo video.
Yeah.
And I think that's, again, with challenging yourself. If you really like a brand, make a little project of the brand, see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's happened a lot for me.
I love that, actually.
That's a good idea.
You do have a lot of clients that are so in your area, that I'm just like, oh, Emily must love this. And it's because you've really fostered that relationship. Do you have any favorite projects you've done other than the brewery in Polar Park?
Yeah, I was gonna say, aside from Polar Park, and you said with Wormtown Brewery and now this brewery too, like, first of all, those are all up my alley. Like baseball and beer, sign me up.
Right.
But what are some of the other ones that you've like really enjoyed and you've gone after?
Recently, we have been working with, I'll talk about her in a little while. My friend's partner hired us to work with Harley Davidson.
Oh, wow.
So he is working with them through a partnership. He's going to be tattooing at Laconia Harley Davidson Motorcycle Week.
Wow.
So we've done.
This is right up Anthony's alley too.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's up. I didn't realize I would be so into it either.
Yeah.
You know, I don't ride motorcycles or anything like that, but it's definitely cool.
It's fun. Yeah, it's a fun environment.
So we've been doing that. We just actually sent out almost a final draft of an ad, and the client was so happy with it.
Awesome.
And it's really cool to see someone who's a creative in a very, very different field.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about tattooing because I like tattoos. And
I know you're all covered up today, but
yeah, I know. I had to go with the blue. You know?
Yeah.
But that is really cool. That's a fun one.
Yeah,
it's fun.
And we're going to be going up to Bike Week.
Nice.
And shooting some photos with and video of Harley up there and tattoos and bikes, and it's going to be sweet.
I love it.
That's
That's
awesome.
so exciting.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we always like to also ask all of our guests if there's a local woman in business or business owner that you would love to shout out, because like Dominique said, this is all about women supporting women and, you know, growing our networks and relationships.
Right.
So is there anyone that you would like to shout out?
Yes.
Yes. She couldn't wait for this. Was the question she was waiting for.
Yes. So kind of backtracking a little bit, my friend Zafira, she owns her own tattoo shop right outside of Worcester and Millbury called North Moon Tattoo.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
I've tried to get in there. They've got a wait list, man.
I'll get you in there.
Okay.
Not a problem. I've been getting tattooed by her sister Tula, and her for the past 5 years. I was going through 6 years, a really bad breakup, and just going there and like those women just made me feel so comfortable, made me feel like part of like their family.
Yeah.
And we've just kind of grown like this really amazing friendship, and we're not going to announce it right now, but we have been working on a special project together for the past like year, almost 2 years.
Wow.
Exciting.
About her.
Uh-huh.
So she's just done a fantastic job in a male-dominated industry,
Yeah.
and she's this tiny little Greek woman,
Yeah.
and she is just so badass.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to get tattooed, I know there's a wait list most of the time.
Well, it moves around,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I've looked before, and then it's just like, oh, at the time that I looked, I was like, oh my goodness. She was like, no, I'm not taking any, like, books are closed because they're busy, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend checking out, you know, their Instagram. It's North Moon Tattoo, and going on their website. But yeah, she's done so much for me, and I would love to give back to her. And she's been amazing.
And that's a great testimony, too, for that field, because like you were saying, it's like you're kind of in a vulnerable place when you're getting tattooed. It's like when the tattoo artist can be whatever you need them to be in that moment, right? Like sometimes you just need them to like not talk as you're like trying to stay cool, or like distract you, and or like, you know, listen. It's just like being able to have that, I think, emotional intelligence is really important for a good experience, because it's more than just getting a tattoo. It's like a whole, and sometimes you're spending like hours and hours with them to get the tattoo.
And I don't stop talking, so they didn't have a choice.
Oh, well, I love that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. Is there anything else you want to say before we cut the cameras?
No,
about
this
your
has been
business
fun.
and-
No, I mean, we work in so many different industries. So
Right.
product, service, construction, we've done everything. Salons, we've been doing a lot of beauty salons lately. there's really anything that if you need content for your business, by all means, follow us, Acorace Creative on Instagram. My name's Sween with 4 N's on the on the end.
Yeah.
I'm always available to chat, or if you have any questions. Again, I love to put people in contact with other other
yeah,
people
even if
and
you're
help.
not sure
Yeah.
if Emily can help you out, reach out anyways, because if it's not her business, she definitely knows someone. She seems very connected, even though I just met her.
Like she referred business to me, and it is wonderful. I'm like still like, oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Awesome.
'Cause, yeah,
I'm so happy to hear
worked
that.
out really well.
Yay.
Yeah, but we'll tag all of your stuff, and I can't wait
Awesome.
to see what more creative projects you guys have, because I love watching your videos. They're so fun. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for coming on.
All right,
First
thank
guest in our
you.
new studio.
I know.
I feel honored.
We're back.
We're back, ready for Heart It or Hate It. This is going to be rapid fire, as we always intend for it to be, and it never quite works out.
It's okay.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
My first one, Heart It or Hate It, using old headshots.
Hate it.
Hate it too.
I mean,
I understand why people do it. Like, they
Right.
like what they looked like in that photo, or, you know, they were young, 5-10 years younger, and
Right.
they think they look better. I get that, but it's a no from me. You're basically catfishing people.
as someone who just like loves taking photos of themselves,
Yeah.
like, I just
I don't
always
understand.
have a
Yeah.
new one for myself. So like for me, it's just like I don't think I would ever have an old headshot. And like I do get it. I do see like some of my older ones, and it's like, oh yeah, I liked the way that I looked when I was 23 instead of 32.
Yeah, but you're not
Obviously.
23 anymore.
Right.
Right? And like when people meet you in person, they're going to be like, well, you don't really look like that. Like, you
Absolutely.
don't have the bangs anymore. You don't-
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I used
Yeah.
to work with someone who was using a headshot that was probably 10 years old. And I was like, ma'am, not only do you not look like this, but like, not only are you 10 years older, and, you know, which is fine. Aging is a normal part of life. I never understand that, but whatever. But also like completely different hair color, completely different hairstyle.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't even, if I didn't know you personally, I wouldn't know that this is your picture.
Yeah. I am in quite a few like networking groups, or I've been doing like a lot more like networking like lately. And it almost feels like when I'm doing like one-to-ones and going out like a blind date, because I saw their headshot.
Yeah, that's what I was saying that to
Yeah.
someone yesterday. I was like, it's like you're catfishing.
Because I went to one yesterday and I'm like, am I going to know that he's here, or am I
Right.
not going to know that he's like, I don't know who I'm looking for.
Right, literally. What would you say is the time frame in which headshots need to be updated? Like, probably no more than a year or two?
I was going to say a year or two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
All
mean,
right, so
it's okay
update
if
your
it's a little
headshots,
old.
people, and Catrina can help you with that,
Yeah,
honestly.
happy to. I clearly love it. My next one is Heart It or Hate It, office holiday parties.
We haven't had one.
No.
I did one at last company.
I know.
I think it's like I can't really decide because I hated the last job I was
Okay.
at.
Heart It with an asterisk if it happens during work hours.
Yeah, so this one we did a luncheon basically at like a country club, and
Yeah.
you know, we got like the food was obviously
Yeah.
provided by the company. We had alcoholic beverages
Yeah.
provided by the company. We did a what do you call that? Not a Secret Santa, a Yankee swap
Yep.
maybe. Yeah, we did a Yankee swap, and everybody except one person participated, so that was like a little bit awkward. And then they handed out bonuses, so
Yeah. Heart It.
I guess heart
Heart
it.
that.
Free meal, free drinks,
Yeah.
and a bonus. I guess heart it.
If
And it was
you're-
all during work hours, and then
Right.
it was on a Thursday, or I think it was a Friday. So we got to leave
Right.
work, or like after the lunch was over
Yeah.
at like 2
if
or
you're
3.
asking me to like go to a restaurant at 6 p.m., no thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go in hopes that like, yeah, they are handing out like holiday bonuses or something.
Let me
But,
also
like,
just say this is such a weird time to ask me about office holiday parties. We're literally at the end of May, and you're thinking about.
what am I not thinking about office holiday parties?
Okay, I think my next one was heart it or hate it. Oh, Enneagram.
I heard it.
I think I heart it too.
Yeah, I heard it more than you do.
We
but-
should probably find someone
to talk about Enneagram.
who's like a profesh and does. If anyone's watching this and you are like professionally trained in doing Enneagram
we would like to talk to you.
typing, I think it is. I'm a type 1.
I'm a type 9.
So I'm very, I don't know how you do a quick recap of what's a type 1 and a type 9.
Oh, I don't know what a type 1 is.
Type 1
I
is,
only care about myself.
and that's what a type 9 is. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Type 1 is usually very like logical, rule follower, but also perfectionist, which is like a detriment, clearly. Only follows the rules if the rules make sense, though. Like, not about to follow some cray-cray, like,
but yeah, like rule follower,
like structure, control, organization. That's all me. I'm a fun time, clearly.
Type 9 is the people pleaser. It's the there was like an actual term, but yeah, it's just like basically like trying to make everyone happy, kind of like losing your own identity in an attempt to like connect with others and like make sure that like they're comfortable. So like you just kind of like mold to their things, and then you don't really put yourself first because you're just like putting everyone else first. So not always having like a voice to like speak up and speak your mind. And
all of the Enneagram like accounts that I follow and the like situations that they describe and how like an Enneagram would react, like whatever, all to a T.
Yeah.
So I love seeing those. I think they're hysterical.
Same. Yeah.
But
it's
yeah,
a good time.
We should find someone who knows about that so we can talk to them in a podcast setting.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
All right, give us our last one.
Our last heart it or hate it is Sunday brunch.
Heard it. I can't tell you the last time I had a Sunday brunch.
I'm gonna be controversial.
Hate it.
Hate it.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could kind of go either way on this one because I don't do Sunday brunches. So I think in theory,
yeah.
But also, I don't usually leave my house on Sundays.
I love going out for breakfast.
Any other day of the week?
Well, typically a Sunday brunch is like a very specific, a little bit elevated menu.
Oh, okay.
So it's usually like, you know, the avocado toast, which most people love, and like.
Oh, so you don't like the food options? At a
Yeah.
Sunday. Interesting.
I just want my chocolate chip pancakes like the 32-year-old woman that I am.
Retweet. I love chocolate chip pancakes.
And they're never on a brunch menu.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Again, wouldn't know because I haven't been to brunch in so long.
So I just go out to breakfast and I try to find the places that have booze with breakfast.
That's fair.
Yeah. There is a place in my town, Puffins, will give me mimosa with my chocolate chip pancakes. Thank you.
It's not really a great combo, but...
No, it is.
Okay, but for you it is. And on that note, that was Heart It or Hate It. Once again, keep up with us on the Instagram stories, vote in those polls.
Yep, let us know your thoughts on Sunday brunch and
everything
Enneagrams
else.
And all the things.
And
we'll see you next
week.
week.
That's it. I guess until next week. Later, ladies.
Later.